I'm dating you, Gem, and Dingle at the same time. A girl wants you to have a 8-inch pecker. Sorry, lovey, but I've got a knife.
How generic you can make your fucking fried eggs in the morning has taken over everything, and it's just made people very fickle.
He's basically talking about the scum of the earth.
People run podcasts.
I mean, I thought you were...
I am single, so if there are any females or males out there, because I'm getting to that point now. SD?
Are you there, SD?
SD, he's not there. You know what? Yo, what is happening? It is the penultimate episode of the season. It's episode 35. I am called R-Techz. We have SD here. We also have Gem. There is no Dingle today. I believe he is watching his brother box. Is that right?
Sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, he'll do some UFC type thing. Either way, he's watching them do fighting of some sort. So he will not be joining us tonight, which is absolutely fair enough. Let's go around and do some plugins, and then we'll go into the actual subject of this episode. What have we got to say for yourself, SD?
Yeah, I'm SD. You should know us by now. If you don't, then screw you. Yeah, I upload Fallout 4 experiences to YouTube. I'm soon to play New Vegas because for some reason everyone likes New Vegas, even though I think it was like the ugly brother of Fallout 3. Yeah, I do enjoy putting shorts out there, sharing my gaming experiences. Because games are for all. And sometimes it's nice to watch other people fuck up or succeed. And it's better this way if you have a potato PC and you can't run these sort of things. That's for me.
Lovely jubbly. Gem, what are you about?
I am Gem. I am the host of the Straight Up Warlords podcast, which the latest episode has been recorded, so I just need to make the video for it. And yeah, apart from that, I'm just some bloke, really. I have an X profile. I have another project that I'm working on, which I need to get in contact with the people that are all agreeing to be in part of it, so we can actually get preparations done, because I want to get started on that soon. Yeah, probably it will be in the new year that we'll start doing that.
Amen. That's gonna be a wicked. So I'm R-Techz. Catch me on the YouTube. I was about to say on the YouTube, makes me sound like an old man. Yeah, on my YouTube, this R. I think I kept telling people it was R-Techz Gaming, but actually, I believe on YouTube it's just under R-Techz. That's literally it. But that's where we share the ThaStr8UpBustas and also the Straight Up Warlords. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to SD SureDiesAlot 61, is it?
Yeah.
I got it right this time. And of course, Gem has Reddit and X. Yada yada. Dingle runs our TikTok. Dingle also has a YouTube channel, Dingle Games. Go and support. He makes funny stuff. Well, it makes me laugh anyway. And that's about it. Like, tell your friends how mentally retarded we are. If you want to do that.
If you have any friends.
Okay, let's not belittle the people we're trying to. But anyway, I digress. Today it is about dating / relationships and around that kind of sort of realm, as it were. I do have a few things I wish to discuss. Funnily enough, that would be helpful for an episode. But I don't know what order we want to do these in. There is one I want to leave on the latter. But I think we'll start with the I'll just go with the ones I find least interesting, and then we'll go to the ones I find most interesting. So the first one I think is, what do we think about the concept of remarrying once say your spouse has died, or you just get you separate and then you marry someone else? Should there be a limit how many times you should remarry? I mean, if someone's getting remarried for the 5th time, I think they might have to examine their relationships period, to be honest. But there you are. What do we think on that? I'm going to turn my mic down slightly as well. SD, I'll go you first. What do you think about remarrying?
Remarrying?
Yes.
Sure, you should have learnt your lesson after the first one, really. I mean,
I like that.
through widowing, it's not really on you, if you know what I mean, because, well, you can't just die alone, can you? I mean, surely you would want your loved one to move on and, actually have a happy life rather than going, oh, by the way, if I die, you're pretty much fucked. You're going to live alone.
Well, I think that's the point. They won't be getting fucked.
Yeah.
The dog will catch their life.
Yeah. On terms of like breakups where they divorce, if you have kind of multiple marriages that failed, probably a good idea to reevaluate your own, would you say, personal belief system? Because obviously it's not you. I mean, sorry, it's not them, it's you. Just to put it clearly. Yeah, it just sounds mad to me because I'm in my first marriage and
let's hope it's the only one.
I'm hoping it's the only fucking one I have. I don't plan the wedding. Got a kid now, and I'd rather not go through hell and all the bullshit that follows through with, I don't know, what is it called? Alimony, not alimony. Child benefit or sharing the kids, that sort of bullshit, which is obviously hard for many people that are actually going through it. I could probably pull up some stats for you quickly.
Sure.
Just to show how many how much.
Yeah, I'd be interested to know that, actually. We'll go to you, Jem, whilst SD's fiddling with his with his keyboard. What do you think of you, Mario, mate?
So, obviously, everyone deserves to be happy and have a loving relationship. There are obviously questions for people who do keep remarrying. It's obviously dependent on the situation. Like, if it's divorce, remarry, then, like SD said, then if it's happening to you all the time, then maybe you need to evaluate the kind of people that you're attracted to and the kind of people you're choosing to marry, because clearly it's not working between you and these people. And if you're a widow or widower repeatedly, the police might want to ask you questions about why partners keep dying. It could be completely innocent. I would hope that it is, and it's just a case of bad luck that your partners just keep dying. But there's going to come a point where people are going to be like, that's kind of suspicious. Like you said, R-Techz, it's on the fifth marriage, and all 4 previous partners have died. People are going to be like, "Yo, what?"
Hold on, things are right here. Yeah, tell the police. I believe so.
But yeah, it's obviously like, if you believe that the person you're getting remarried to is the one, then there shouldn't be any limits to it. But again, if you're getting remarried because you've been divorced, or if you're getting remarried because you've been widowed, then in the case of widows, it's not as big of a deal. But in the case of divorce, like you should really evaluate your relationship with this person. Is it going to be a stable relationship that leads to a long-term marriage, or are you just infatuated with them, but there isn't really any connection? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and they could, just give
poses like within the first month.
Yeah.
You get those little butterflies, and then they fade away after you get married. The honeymoon settles. It's like, oh, I'm actually stuck with this person.
Yeah.
The only thing,
got statistics for you.
I think there's a lot of parents, they stay together even when they're married just purely because of the child, and I think that could do more harm than good in the long run. But yeah, no, me, I think remarrying, if it's happening multiple times, then you need to sort your damn shit out. But if you're widowed, then I think, it's fair enough. I have nothing against, and I don't mean to sound hateful, which I might come across that way, but I do think if you're, 70 plus and your partner's died, you probably don't really need to remarry, in my opinion. I'm not sure if I could remarry at that age. Crikey, blimey.
Just find an old bastard as miserable as you.
Exactly. Yeah. Just find that one friend you have who's single. There you go. Go chat out with them. So I do think there's kind of sort of a limit, because everyone will die eventually. I know that's Captain Obvious over here, but
that's a given.
Yeah, funny enough. But I just think when you're that age, I don't know, it just seems weird. I also find it weird when people that age, they're just girlfriend and boyfriend. It sounds so odd. But yeah, anyway, I wouldn't wish anyone any ill will if they want to. But to me, it just doesn't really. I 100% wouldn't do it. But yeah, that's.
I've got some statistics for you, just like a short spiel.
Yeah.
Right. So this is as of 2021. In 2021, the average divorce rate was 42%.
In when sorry, Esty?
2021.
Yeah, was 44%.
42%.
Too. Right. Yeah.
So all the people that got married in that year, I'm assuming, divorced. 42%. So
that's a lot.
Fucking mad. So
that is right.
So obviously, if you've got 100,000 people, 42% of them have divorced, and it's just like that's an insane amount of people that have, given up the gab, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
So further in 2020, the year before, 42 of married couples get divorced, with 103,592 British couples getting divorced, a decrease of 4% compared to 2019. This year included a temporary suspension by some of the courts during the COVID-19 pandemic, which may have impacted the timeline of divorces rather than reflecting the number of couples looking to divorce. Of these couples, 102,438 of these, so 98.9, were opposite sex couples, and 1,154, so 1.1%. I'm just going off the website here, were same-sex couples, with a majority being female same-sex divorces at 71%. So obviously women can't live with each other. In there were 107,599 divorces, an increase of 18.4% compared to the 2018 90,817 divorces. The most common divorce age was between 40 and 44, with an average of 62 of divorce petitioned by women. So the old age saying of happy wife, happy life rings true there.
I've actually never heard that saying, but yeah.
What? Happy wife, happy life? Of course it is.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever heard that terminology. Yeah.
I thought it was happy wife, quiet life.
Oh, right.
Oh, come on, SD. Goodness sake.
So, yeah, so the opposite sex marriages, unreasonable behaviour, so I'm guessing someone's being an arsehole. I don't understand quite what they mean by this, but 47.3% of women and 33.8% of men. So I'm guessing it's 47.3% of women found men unreasonable and 33.8% found women unreasonable.
Right.
I'm inclined to believe that that's the opposite. 2-year separation with consent. So this is the 2 years you separate your partner living alone. You don't actually have to pay a fee, a law fee that says that you're separated. You just kind of go, we're divorced now, it's fine, fuck off. So in that 2-year separation consent was 34.7% of men and 27.3% of women. So those are the people who've gone, I've had enough of you, fuck off. Guarantee this doesn't take into account if they have children or not. 5 years, they've got 5-year separation with no consent. So my guess is this person's had enough of their spouse and fucked off halfway up the country.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be halfway up the country. You just need to be living in separate homes for 5 years.
Okay, yeah. What you said. So that's 22.2% of men and 15% of women.
Also, just so you know, unreasonable behaviour includes behaviour that is victimizing, humiliating, intimidating, or threatening. And it's the term used to describe the fact that a person has behaved in such a way that their partner or spouse cannot reasonably be expected to live with them.
I'm guessing that contains GBH as well.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I would count GBH as being threatening and victimizing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And intimidating.
I have got a few more figures to you that may shock you.
Yeah, go on.
Not shock you. On the terms of adultery, it's a lot lower than what I was expecting.
What do you mean? What causes for
cheating, essentially?
Yeah,
no adultery.
Adultery is when one of the spouses has an extramarital affair. That's adultery.
Oh, I thought adultery was just like cheating in any form.
Thing is, I don't know if they take adultery as in unreasonable behaviour. So I don't know if it reflects the other figures.
If it's specifically adultery, it would be considered adultery. If it's unreasonable behaviour, there may be some cases where unreasonable behaviour is included in adultery. But generally speaking, adultery would be the reason.
So yeah, it's 10% of women and 8.96% of men. So I don't know if that's where 10% of women were cheated on, or 10% of women cheated, or 8.96% of men were cheated on, or 8.9% of men cheated. So I don't know how they split those numbers.
I'm guessing those numbers are the complainants. Therefore, it's 10% of women were cheated on, and however many percent of it was 8.6. Did you say?
8.96. Call it 8.9 or 9% to round it up.
Yeah, 9% of men were cheated on. Then
this may not shock you or shock you, but on same-sex marriages,
Mm.
the unreasonable behaviour, which counted 56.9% of men.
Cool.
It was a big old number. That's over half.
Yeah.
And 55.2% of women. So again, over half.
Damn.
Yeah, so
Experience unreasonable
Bit of a
behaviour.
pattern, isn't there? More divorces, more adultery.
again, that's not adultery. That's more unreasonable behaviour in homosexual couples.
Intriguing, I say.
I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but
you are, go on. You're always that guy, SD.
it just seems that they are a bit more expressive than the standard reproducing couple.
What do you mean by that?
By reproducing, I mean the
Bearing-
way nature intended.
Yeah.
I mean, homosexuality is found in nature.
To maintain balance.
Yeah, but I think he's on about having.
He's talking about straight couples. Yes, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I should have just simplified it and gone, yeah, straight couples.
Yeah.
Should have
Rather
worked.
than insulting any homosexual couples that we might have in our audience.
I'm pretty sure if there was same-sex couples or anything liberal watching us, we would have been cancelled by now.
Mm-mm. No, because we didn't get viewers.
Yeah, we're going to view.
I don't use that.
No, I'm not funny. I'm being serious. We don't. It's as simple as that. At least not for the moment. For the time being, there wouldn't be enough people to generate. You know, unless some famous TikToker come across us and he was like, "Oh, that bloody SD part of the ThaStr8UpBustas, cancel him," and then we'd have to kick you out. Otherwise, we'd have to stop the podcast.
Yeah.
Or keep doing the podcast and then get loads of interactions because people are coming in here to have a go at SD. But yeah,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we should take on the podcast.
Anyway,
so yeah, going off the same-sex marriages again. Going to the 2-year separation with consent. For some reason, they haven't put women in this. Or they have, and they've swapped them round, which is really confusing.
Right.
So yeah, 37.9% of women and 36.6% of men. So again, with 2-year agreement, 5-year with no consent was 3.64% of men and 2.2% of women. So I'm guessing these are the ones who don't want any drama and just thought, I've had enough, see you later. Compared to, what was it of the straight sex? Yeah, 22.2% of men consent and 15% of women with no consent in straight couples. It was quite, I don't know if this goes down to their sample capture group. So my guess is from the sample size that they took to produce these figures. I mean, this is harbourfamilylaw.co.uk. This is where I'm getting my information from.
Right.
shout out to Harbour Family Law.
But we're not sponsored by
We're not sponsored, yeah.
Non-spon.
no quick sponsors.
But yeah, they're based around Bristol, so Bristol's a shithole.
It is.
So we probably shouldn't take their.
If we have any Bristolian viewers, I love you all way more.
No,
They would agree with me. They would agree with me.
I was born in Bristol, motherfucker.
So yeah, this is okay. There's a Google one of how often do married couples make love.
Nice. Should we move on to the next one though? Because I still want to get round to
you'll find this funny.
I think
You'll find this funny.
My mother's funny.
You'll find it funny.
I've always said your mother's funny. I'm so funny.
Your mum's funny. What?
Yeah. One more. Yeah, go on.
On average, married couples make love once a week. Once a week. I'm lucky if I get it once a month. What?
Yeah, but that's deep. People have busy lives, mate. That could be 2 full-time people. And they're very knackered after, especially if you're doing separate, different shifts.
Yeah,
especially if you're night shifts like I will be next week.
There you are. But we don't need to know the figures on you and Kat, thank you. We can leave that out.
Yeah, I'll leave that out. I don't think Kat would want me to share those figures.
Yeah, let's not disclose this. That's not live anyway.
How long does the average marriage last in the UK?
I don't know.
Let's move on to the next bit because we've.
Hold on, I do want to know this actually. I reckon 39%.
No, how many years do you reckon they last?
Oh, sorry, I
average.
Heard the wrong thing then.
So the average. So I'm going to say.
I'm going to say 12 years. I'm going to say 16 years. Go.
So R-Techz is 16. What did you say?
25.
Oh, 5. Not bad.
I'd say R-Techz is the closest, it being 12 years.
12 years.
Yeah. 12?
12 years is the average.
Oh, that is not good. That doesn't sound it, does it?
There's a lot of marriages where people marry young and get divorced very quickly afterwards after realizing that they rushed into things. So
yeah,
I was hoping that the marriages that last forever would kind of meter that out, but obviously more of that happens,
especially these days.
Yeah,
you'd find most of the highest levels of divorce are in London.
No shit.
So the richer you are, the more likely you are to get divorced.
You get bored, wouldn't you? But anyway, let's move on from that. So we already covered the divorce rate and remarrying. That's 2 off the list. What do we think on double standards within the whole dating, culture? And I'm strictly talking about hetero relationships within this part, at least. What do we think the double standards are? I'll tell you one right away. There seems to be a lot of the modern wave feminism that encourages girls to be, a boss girl, a slay queen, whatever they call themselves. But they also expect, they want to go against the grain of society, but they also expect the men to also be somewhat traditional in ways that it can benefit them. So, who's going to catch the bill? And I've seen so many interviews and podcasts, and the girl saying, "Well, obviously the guy." And it's like, "Oh, so I thought you were a strong, independent woman. You make your own." Do you know what I mean? You got like some of these people like their own businesses. For fuck's sake. And it just makes me laugh. It's funny. Do you know what I mean? Like they expect you to open the car door for them and drive them around, be the chauffeur. Take the lead when it comes to intercourse. But when it comes to having the same jobs, having the same rights, they're all for it. But I don't know. I'll go to you, Jem, first. What do you think on it? Because I feel like SD might go on a more of a rant than I did. Go on, Jem.
It is that double standard where women want traditional men but don't want to be traditional women. It's one of those things where a lot of these women who show their true colours when it comes to this kind of thing, they're probably either only going to be dating people who can't see that thing happening, or they're just going to be disappointed for their entire life until they figure out that that's the problem, basically.
What they are the problem.
Yeah, exactly. When it comes down to it, that obviously there are also double standards within men, although none pop up in my mind at the moment. It's like women want not all women, but there's a lot of the stereotype of women want a bad boy, but they want a bad boy that will be loyal to them and be the good boy for them. And it's all like, but you wanted the bad boy. You're going to get the bad boy. You're not going to get the good boy.
But this just boils down to the women are stupid sometimes.
Again,
what do you think on the matter then, SD?
Yeah, I think it as in, if you want a man to pay for everything and pay for you, you become a product. So that man's going to treat you like a product.
Okay, I see where you come from.
Once the product becomes,
Stale.
old and useless, it's just going to move on. Because you can always find a younger, more
vulnerable.
Fresher. A younger, newer model.
Gonna trade you in. Gonna trade you in, bro. Your time's over.
Trade you in for a
remember, lads, trade them in every 2.5 years, so you don't have to get the MOT.
Yeah, pretty much.
Always check the warranty guarantee.
It's expensive doing it that way, but at least you keep having new cars. Well, new women.
Yeah. And you get to different boobs, ass, and badges. So why not?
If women want to have, the equal rights, it should be equal responsibility as well.
Of course.
Yeah.
That they should put in as much as he does.
And put out.
And put out, okay.
I mean,
and that they should fight for the relationship as much as he does.
Well,
even though sometimes he's tired or...
They should add value to it, shouldn't they?
And he would put across to try and, it's a to and throw game.
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, it's obvious to people like me that's sense. But they
work on it, regardless of how hard it is.
They want their cake and they're going to eat it too.
I don't want to sound old-fashioned, but
why else do you do cake, by the way?
In the past, you didn't find new. You kind of you fixed what was broken, if that makes any sense.
With what? I missed what you said.
Old-fashioned relationships there.
What do you mean, sir?
Like, you wouldn't just throw away. You would repair or, fix what was broken.
Right, yeah. So
there wouldn't be this high horse of, oh, I'm better than you. It'd be a case of, yeah, we both fucked up here. We entered into this, and there is something there we shouldn't throw away.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you 100% there. I mean, if you remember, it's a bit of a weird thing to share on the podcast, but when my dad cheated on my mum all those years ago, probably like decades.
You're throwing that out of that. Oh, I thought that was going to keep that to yourself.
I'm going deep, mate. That's what she said. Yeah, no, that was over a decade ago. Obviously broke her heart, and I wanted to flip and kill him. But a lot of time's passed, and we moved out for 6 months, and then came back in, and they've obviously been having counselling and whatever else. But at the end of the day, as much as at the time I would have been like, no, getting the fuck out of my life and stay away. It ended up not being the case, but I think overall I'm more thankful for it. If you get me. So yeah, I mean, I'm using an extreme case on purpose there to demonstrate the pros of it. There might be cons too. I think you can only try for so long, and if you realise that it's not going to work, it's not going to work. But I do think I think everyone deserves second chance, as corny and cringy, cheesy as it sounds.
I'd say your mum is a bit old-fashioned, and she's religious.
Oh, she's most definitely old-fashioned. Yeah, well, no shed of a doubt there. But regardless, it's well. I mean, by saying that, it's proved your point as well. The fact that she is like that, and they gave it another try, and here they still are. So,
I suppose, in a way, what I failed to mention was, admitting when you're wrong.
oh yeah, that's very important.
Because once you admit the problem exists, it's the first step towards fixing the problem, if you know what I mean.
Amen. That's the same with anything.
Because otherwise, you'd just be constantly stuck in denial.
I agree.
I agree as well.
Well, you've got to move on in the day. You've got to move forward.
Indeed.
There's got to be. It just has to. Yeah, but yeah. Anyone else think of any double standards whilst we're at it? It could be the other way around as well. I don't want this to be a woman bashing segment.
I'm trying to think of a male one.
I think the male one. Oh, sorry, go on.
I know there are some that we expect of women, but don't expect them of ourselves.
I think looks-wise, we expect quite a lot from women.
Yeah.
In general, I'm not saying me, you, SD, or Dingle do, but I do think the way society's been ran, we've kind of it's been drummed home to us that girls have to look the prettiest they can, type thing. I do believe that. I don't think the word oppression is right, because I don't really think women are, at least not now, in this day and age. I don't think oppression is the right word, but I do think they get
no glass ceilings anymore.
Yeah, any wood ones. I do think they're pressurized. I do think there's an element of intimidation. Not intimidation. Manipulation. All the adverts you get, all the music videos, all
the dumb Americanisms.
Well, I mean, a lot of it is actually. A lot of it is.
Due to America goes full retard, but
America
goes full retard. They do things by large, and I think that's kind of affected our mainstream media.
I believe so, mate. Yeah, if America gets their hands on something, then it goes to Hollywood, and it gets oversimplified. But that's probably a different debate. But yeah, I do think there's the pressure there, and I think women. I mean, I'm not being funny. I mean, I was out last night down at Ashley Cross, whether people know where that is or not, listening. And honestly, there was girls out there wearing next to nothing, and I'm just stood there like, what? Like, me and my mate were just laughing at it. Wasn't
it like -2 last night?
Huh?
Wasn't it like -2, -3 last night?
Yeah, it was bloody cold. What am I making?
Fucking crazy woman.
Amen. Oh, Gem.
Hey.
That's what I'm saying. So it was bloody freezing. And they were out there wearing that. Like, I get it's a night out. People can dress pretty without showing off too much. I mean, or maybe this is the point. This is kind of sort of the point I was making there. I think they feel like they can't. I think some girls genuinely feel that they have to. I don't want to say the word sexualize. I just did. Revealing. They have to be very revealing. I think a lot of girls just feel that's the thing they have to do in order to get attention, which is a shame, because then it goes around a vicious circle, because then they think that's what the guys want, and they're right, the guys do want that, but the type of guys that want that want something short term.
Yeah.
I'm not saying in every case, but if I see someone dress, there's always two, in my view, there's always two types of women that I'm attracted to. Whether you guys feel the same, I don't know. It's someone who's hot looking and someone who's cute looking, and I think the difference I always different.
Sorry, this is completely unrelated to what you were saying, but
Can I just finish the thing first before I forget, and I'll let you chime in?
yeah. Go on, then. Go on.
Thank you. So I would say a hot girl is someone. Trying to think of someone we all know, but I can't. Which is quite funny, really.
Women are products.
Yeah.
They expect to be
Someone-
paid for.
Someone like
Pamela Anderson in a
yeah, Pamela Anderson. Yes. I was going to say Katy Perry for some reason, but either or. Someone like her, like she's a stunner, like, or at least she was for a fair amount of time, And what the chabbies would say, she's a filly. So that type of woman, I would see, and I immediately want to put my spam javelin in between her boobs. I mean, not specifically that, but obviously want to have my wicked way with her. But then there's the other girls that are the cute girls that dress a bit more.
Modest.
Did you pardon?
Modest.
Modest. That's the word, SD. Yeah, fuck. That was the word. Good job.
Like they actually leave something for the imagination.
Yeah. I mean, it's that as well. And I don't think the girls understand that. But yeah, they do. Yeah, and they dress a bit more smartly or classy, probably should say. And they're just. And it sounds really stereotypical. And I know I'm going on a tangent. I apologise, but from my experience, I'm not going to even try and generalise. From my experience, the girls who are in the hot category, and when I say hot, I'm talking 8 out of 10s onwards. Yeah, 8s, 9s, 10s. Those girls usually are completely just not interested and just tease you the however long and then discard you, or they're just outright snobby bitches. To be blunt, I don't mean that. I'm not saying every girl. That's not what I'm saying. But
you couldn't afford them.
Yeah, right. Exactly. If I pulled up in a Bugatti, but no, I mean, well, that's the case. That's been the case for me. I don't think I am a bad-looking dude at all. Without trying to sound lame. I don't. So, but even with me, and the girls who are 7, I mean, this is just me, throwing numbers out there, 7 and lower, genuinely, they are actually nicer girls, better mannerisms, they're more polite, they don't treat you like you're not even a human. Like those are the cute girls. They've still got the looks, obviously, you've got to be attracted to someone. But I don't know. Sometimes you can just tell. As bad as it sounds, personally, sometimes I feel like I can just tell by looking at just looking at you and hearing you talk to other people, and you can just see how people carry themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just want to throw in the double standard there.
Yeah.
Like you saying they're like an 8 or 9 or 7 and below, you're being misogynistic. But when a woman says that you're like, I don't know, a 7 or below or whatever, it's perfectly acceptable. Like there's an actual saying.
saying.
Saying. You know what I'm saying?
Was it men love unconditionally and women love conditionally?
More like conditionally.
No,
If only.
that's not entirely true. There are some men who love conditionally and some women who do love unconditionally.
Yeah, but the majority of it's right.
A lot of the time, there's also in the relationship, there's double standards. Like, there's in some relationships, not one that I'm in at the moment, but in some relationships, there are women who, they would expect their man to be forthcoming with information that be really good at communication, but then won't communicate with their man properly. So the man doesn't know he's done wrong, but he has to tell her everything all the time.
No, he has to know that he's wrong. Otherwise, he's wrong.
Yeah. But yeah, like
to be
that
fair,
kind of
women
thing.
have that women have that social support group that blokes don't. I mean, blokes don't really want to talk about their feelings with their mates because, well, it's weakness, and the double standard comes where if a man shows weakness, a woman will be uninterested. But if he doesn't show a weakness, he's what's the bloody word?
He's emotionless.
He shows no emotions. He's a robot.
Yeah, emotionless.
It's one of those things where I've seen a lot of stuff about that. Like, there have been
damned if you do, damned if you don't, kind of thing.
Amen.
There have been studies into that where women have said that they want their partner to open up with their emotions and that, but then as soon as their partner does, they lose their respect or their attraction to their partner. And so, like, well, you told him to. All these women these days, they're saying, "Oh yeah, men need to open up more and do all this." But then when the men do open up more, then suddenly yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the funniest one for me that I keep seeing around is the whole we can't say a girl's got too much is okay, I'll just say it, fat. let's go all out.
Or is this the preference and the misogyny?
Yeah, the preferences, exactly. So I wouldn't date you because I think you're too big. I wouldn't date you because I think you're too thin. Basically, just about weight, or you've got a big nose or big ears. You know what I mean? Whatever the thing may be, or pancakes for tits, or just a flat ass.
You mean fried eggs?
Fried eggs, yeah, or just flat asses. Whatever the reason may be. But yeah, and then they'll get on their pedestals about it, all righteous. When in reality, obviously not the nose and the ears, and maybe not even the breasts really, but the stuff that mainly men will say is the stuff that you can actually change and improve on, whereas girls will discuss, oh, I wouldn't go for a guy under 5'5" or whatever, when a guy can't control his height at all.
Yeah.
Or his penis size. A girl wants you to have a 8-inch pecker. Sorry, lovey, but I've got a 9. No. So
you'll be incontinent by the time you're 40. You're right, cool.
I mean, I don't know. I just think it's redonkulous, really. I think SD knew where I was going to go with that the moment I started, but
definitely, I know exactly.
Yeah, I mean, what do you two reckon on that, and then we'll move on to the next one.
Jem, do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. The whole thing about the looks and that with men wanting women a certain way and women wanting men a certain height and that, like, there's only so much you can do about the way that your body is, and there's only so much women can do about the way their body is. But it is a double standard when it comes down to it, because the women will complain about it, but then won't see the issue. And the same thing, like, if you confront a guy about it, there are some guys who won't see the issue. But that is a double standard on both sides. But
yeah, it depends what the person's complaining about, really, regardless of sex. What are you, SD? Are you on my wavelength, or are you not?
Yeah, it's a bit silly these days because all the Americanisms and how the media has twisted people into thinking certain ways. I think it's a real shame, because surely you should base unconsciously basing your attraction on something that you lack. I mean, yeah, there is looks to it and finding certain people more attractive than others. I mean, some people like larger women, some people like skinnier women, that sort of thing. But it should be based on what you're lacking. For me, it may sound ridiculous, but what I looked for in a woman was kindness.
That's definitely the opposite of you, yeah.
Yeah, you're a complete asshole. Yeah.
Something that I'm lacking where I would find it an asset if somebody else would do it that I was involved with. I mean, it should really be your opposite, if you know what I mean.
Opposites attract, mate. That's what I say.
Exactly, and now it's these days. It's based on looks, how much money you earn, certain behaviors. If you're, I don't know, a fucking liberal or some fucking white supremacist is the most common one shouted out there. Or if you haven't got a fucking choice in it because of the certain book you follow, and if you don't follow it, you'll be beheaded. But that's down to them, not us. It's a real shame, really, because it seemed like before this fashion or looks bullshit came along, it was down to, oh, she's nice, let's have a chat with her, and fucking 80 years later you're still together kind of thing. The old-fashioned bullshit before the internet. It's like this whole plastic bullshit of like TikTok or Instagram, or I don't know how generic you can make your fucking fried eggs in the morning has taken over everything, and it's just made people very fickle. It seems like we do need a real purge.
Purge? Do I even want you to go into detail on that?
Well, basically all the plastic shit that doesn't really belong here.
Meaning?
I mean, there's no metaphorical sense of the plastic eating microbials that exist on the bottom of the sea, that sort of shit. It's hard to explain, really.
I am so confused now by that statement. Shall we just move on?
I'm going on about the lowest form of life, but carry on.
I think I started to get what you were saying, and then you sort of trailed off a little bit, and then I got a bit bamboozled.
Microbial eating.
He's basically talking about the scum of the earth.
Oh yeah, people who run podcasts.
I mean, I thought you would like get that from the way I said fickle.
Yes, indeed. But yes, we shall.
In a different way.
We shall move on. What do we think then? I'm interested. These next two, I'm very interested to hear your thoughts on these. So, what do we think? This is something I have always thought is it's just not right. Call me, as SD said, old-fashioned, or because I grew up half religious. Say what you want, but at the end of the day, I think the polyamorous lifestyle is just not helping anyone apart from the people. Can
you define polyamorous for us, please?
Polyamorous, yes. So
people who are able to love more than one person.
Thanks, Jem. You just stole my limelight there.
I'm sorry.
Love more than one person.
Yes. It's basically, as far as I know, it's having Is it the term having multiple relationships, or is it having one relationship but you can mess around with other people? Which one is it?
So polyamorous is multiple relationships.
Right, yeah.
And then a monogamous relationship where you're able to go out with other people is an open relationship.
Boom. Yeah, well, both of them. I think love's a very sacred thing. I mean, I personally have never been in love. Everyone say,
No.
no,
There,
monogamous.
you'll find someone in the end.
Can we get a heart in the chat, please? I need a heart. I'm gonna put one in. Oh wait, no, broken.
Everyone press F to pay respects to R-Techz's heart.
Broken hearts in the chat, people. Anyway, let's not get emotional about it. What the hell are we even talking about? Oh yeah, polyamorous. So I personally disagree with it. I mean, even people who go to swingers clubs. I just don't. I don't get the. I've just never comprehend wanting to have sex with anyone that isn't my partner. And then the other side of it, where I just don't. I think it just belongs with two people. I think we've got very greedy as a society, and it feels weird. Everyone wants everything. Oh man, you just got to. I'm sorry to say, bucko. But that's not the way the world works. So if people are going to do it, they're going to do it. I'll exclaim my my thoughts towards it, and it would never be for me. I think if a girl told me that, I would be I'd have sex with her first, and then I'd be like, oh, actually, I'm not really into this. So.
I just want to shout in there. You mean chance encounters, i.e., one night stands, and then obviously life partners is where you. Yeah, it's in the name, life
relationships at once. That's basically what I was going. So I'm dating you, Gem, and Dingle at the same time.
I thought that was a fuck group.
Fuck group. I never heard that before.
Anyway,
I mean, it's as disgusting as it sounds.
I mean, I was going to make an innuendo, but I'll keep it to myself. Well, so what do you guys think of that then? I think being, two people getting married, but I think that's the way it should be. It has been that for however many years marriage has been around, and I don't know. I don't get it. I honestly. I spoke to someone before. I spoke to one person that I know of who's in an open relationship, and I don't know. They just didn't convince me. Otherwise, it was all about me. Like, oh, I just want to have fun. I'm like, well, I don't know. Some of it just doesn't compute with me.
Make sure you rub her up. Fucking hell.
It'd be more about the bond you share, not enjoying yourself. You know what I mean? Like, love isn't. Yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows, as they say in Rocky. So, what do you guys think? Talk.
Well, I've actually met someone who is polyamorous,
and
there's a woman as well.
Kinky.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about polyamory is there's a lot of cases where people will claim that they're polyamorous purely so that they can just sleep around.
Oh, I never even thought that. Wow. Yeah, good point.
And then their partners will think that person is truly in love with them when really they're just using each and every one of them. But then in the other cases, there are people who are genuinely capable of having a loving relationship with multiple people. And so, it's very difficult you can't just say they're all one or they're all the other. It's, a bit of both. Because I've met one woman who decided to go down the polyamory route where she had multiple male lovers. But at the end of the day, she felt like she was just using them all, which is what she was doing. Like, she admitted that was the case. And then there's this other woman I've met who is genuinely polyamorous and does love multiple people. And so, it's one of those things. I think at the end of the day, it's down to you as a person to decide what is right for you. Like you said, R-Techz, for you are monogamous. You cannot equate with the whole idea of polyamory.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. The whole concept of it is just so foreign and to me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what
my head around it.
Yeah,
it sounds. I don't receive head, but
it sounds odd, doesn't it? Because
yeah, to me it just doesn't add up. I can't see it being justified. I can't. Why would you want to do I as I've always said, like the bare bones? I'm going around the houses, but what I'm basically saying is, if you do not, it's the same as cheating, right? If you want to sleep around, if you want to just enjoy your youth, or I guess you could be old as well, then just do that. Like, just having multiple partners or having multiple sexual encounters, I just don't get what I do get is a sense of a thrill. I'm sure you get that for a bit, but I'd be
strange.
I would feel
you like the strange.
I would feel very bad. That's how I would feel. So
again, it's one of those things where if you are genuinely in the situation where you do genuinely feel emotions for multiple people, and they all feel the feeling back, as long as they're all okay with it, which, let's be honest, you need to find other people who are also polyamorous.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
You can't have someone who is monogamous in a relationship with someone who's polyamorous, because that person will always feel inadequate, or they will always feel jealous of the other people. Meanwhile, the poly person, especially if these people they want their polyamorous partner to be happy, they don't talk about it, and then they feel even worse. So really, it makes it very difficult for genuinely polyamorous people to get into loving relationships, because either they have to deny themselves their polyamory, or they massively reduce their pool of people that they can date.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, I would say that I am monogamous. So yeah, again, for the people that are polyamorous, it's very difficult for them to, find someone.
Oh yeah, I bet. Yeah,
sorry, R-Techz.
No, it's all right.
I was struggling there. Just being conscious of time. How long do you reckon we have left?
We've only got one more thing to cover, and then we'll be out. It shouldn't be too long. If you have anything to say, we can move on to the last thing if you want.
Yeah, I just want to chuck in one last thing.
Go on.
As children, we were taught to share, and now monogamy is where we only have one life partner. It seems strange where human behavior would have monogamists and also multiple partners that you love. It sounds a bit like, where's the line on that? Will you have fun in your younger years and then settle down once you're all worn out, or will you kind of like go, this is what I want, and then settle down? Because having multiple partners for me would be a fucking nightmare.
Amen. Imagine trying to keep up to date with all of them.
Don't talk about guys and keeping up to date with anything. My cat knows that I am useless with information with literally anyone else in my life. Like,
you are then. You can never be polyamorous,
unless it's Warhammer.
Unless it's Warhammer, I am up to date with everyone's Warhammer armies.
He knows the name of every single soldier in the armies.
I've named them myself.
Right, should we move to the next subject?
Yeah. So there's the next one is basically about well, there's two things. So one of them, we'll just quickly go through these two. So the two things I have left to say is body count and dating apps. So do we think a body count matters when it comes to starting a new relationship or not?
I would say, I mean, yeah, you want somebody experienced, but you don't want somebody who's got a life-altering disease.
Yep, that much is obvious.
Or somebody who's, who could throw a hot dog through a hallway sort of situation.
Yeah, I've had that in ages.
I mean, I want to know if I'm pleasing her rather than having to shove my whole fist in her kind of situation.
Oh my!
I mean, no halves here. I'm going full in.
All I'm going to say about that last one is that if you don't think that you've got the right size for the size queen, don't go for the size queen.
Amen.
Yeah, but what if she's really nice and like completely your type situation?
But if she's demanding that there's someone who's got an 8-inch long schlong with a 3-inch girth, I'm not going to be able to please her. I know that. She may be the nicest person in the world, but I know that I'm not going to be able to satisfy her. And so she's going to find it elsewhere. So why should I be in a relationship with her if she's going to go off to satisfy her needs elsewhere? Because I won't be able to satisfy her. It's one of those things where you just have to know these things about yourself.
Yeah, amen.
I know that we all like to pretend that we have bigger schlongs than we have. But when it comes down to it, if you 100% know that that person is looking for something that you don't have, don't pursue it. Just don't. But yeah, when it comes to body count, honestly, it doesn't matter. Like SD said, as long as they don't have any life-altering disease, which there's plenty of clinics out there, you and your partner can both go and get yourself checked out if you're in a relationship and you're wanting to see whether you can take that next step. Obviously, that means that you both have to agree to it, but it's one of those things. Body count at this point shouldn't really matter because, let's be honest, everyone's fucked around. Especially when us three are either in our 30s or coming up to our 30s. And
we've been around the block, let's say.
We've been around the block.
Not the same block.
Not the same block.
I mean, we used to live near the same block, so we probably have been.
Fair point.
Not each other's blocks.
No, we haven't. Okay, that makes it sound.
I didn't really have the chance to fuck around. I've been on my messes for like 9 years now, so.
Yeah, but before her.
I do think body count, I would prefer it to be lower than higher, yeah. I don't think it should stay in the way of your happiness and finding someone, your potential soulmate.
Yeah.
But I definitely would rather. It's easy
someone who's less than yours, R-Techz.
Yeah. Which it'd be quite easy, actually. I'll cut that bit out. But at the end of the day, I would rather sleep with someone who slept with 5 people than sleep with someone who slept with 80 people. So
500.
There's always I think there's always a limit. I think if I was dating a girl and she told me she slept with over, in 3 figures guys, that might turn me off ever so slightly, I must admit.
Unless she was a porn star.
Wow, I would never date a porn star. Mate, I tell you what, I'd never date a porn star. Like, sure. Bugger that, mate. She's been DP'd. I can't give her that.
What about a OnlyFans model?
Only if she was an X one. If she was a former OnlyFans, yeah, I could never date an OnlyFans girl that was currently doing it. The only one way that would happen, and that was if she got me in one of the videos, and she was, we had a bit of foreplay on cam.
Apparently, OnlyFans is empowering to women because they get to express themselves.
Yeah, they get to spread their vag. Yeah, that's really expressing themselves.
Did you know they originally started off as a website for struggling artists and musicians?
What? How the hell did it
turn into a porn stash? Fucking hell.
Basically, what happened was Patreon said you can't be selling porn through us, and OnlyFans didn't have those rules. So they moved over to OnlyFans, and then the people who owned OnlyFans started getting worried, and they're like, "Well, you can't
make a lot of money."
Then they realised there's a lot of money. Yeah.
Oh, so it's unintentionally turned into. That's funny.
Yeah.
I bet the owners are like fucking rolling in money right now.
It was called Adult Works before OnlyFans as well.
No, Adult Works is a completely different thing. It's still a website.
What? Oh, so that's what someone told me. It was little fuckers.
Adult Works is a site that you can go on to have a look at sex workers.
Oh, I am not noting that down right now. All right, so if we've got nothing else to say on that, let's go on the last one. So the one that SD wanted to talk about, dating apps. I'll go last on this one. Let's hear whoever wants to chime in first. What do we think? Do we think it's better for society? Do we think it's worse? How do we think it's affected the modern workings of the two genders? Yet again, I'm only going to talk about straight apps here because neither of us have experience on Grindr or Growler, or do we, Jem? Feel free to tell us if you have. But
Jem does have experience on Grindr, yes.
Okay. Well, on that note, yeah, whoever, far away.
Fun fact: Kat and I met on a dating app.
Elite Singles.
No, Match.com.
Match.com.
Elite Singles.
Elite Singles is an actual dating site, yes.
I know it's a dating, yeah. I just don't think either of you would belong on that in the nicest way possible.
But yeah,
there's that. Don't mean to be harsh.
It's a difficult thing to say because obviously I found my relationship on one, and it does make it easier for you to find people. But then at the same time, it's sort of the same thing that is with the double standards that you're looking on these sites for people that meet your criteria, and they're looking for people that meet their criteria, and very often those two searches do not overlap. So you're looking for people and they're looking for people, and the people you're looking for very often are not looking for you.
Yeah, so people are picky.
As a bloke on a dating website, again, I had a lot of experience with this.
Oh, yeah.
You either get a lot of rejection or a lot of people ignoring you, and it gets really, really disheartening. I mean, unless you literally look like Adonis, in which case you get loads of messages, I'm guessing.
Who gets loads of messages, though?
People who look like Adonis.
Okay.
Like
Adonis.
Like Brad Pitt and Jason Momoa and that kind of thing.
Oh, right.
Really good-looking people.
Yeah, they look good now, but later on in life, unless they have plastic surgery, they won't.
Yeah, but mate, all the big they drink baby's blood, so they're fine. Their skin is useful forever.
It's a very disheartening thing going on dating websites. Is, you know, there are some times where I was on them and I thought I really need to lower my standards, but then I'd lower my standards and then just not be attracted to anyone.
Well, you're with cats, so there you are.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't lower my standards for cats.
No, I know. I was trying to trap you. I might. I'll cut it out. I might not. We'll see. To be fair, after what you did have a jab at Jess that one time. So I thought, I'll stick for SD and get on yourself.
Yeah, I get
it. Yeah. What about you then, SD? What do you think of dating apps? I'm intrigued to hear your opinions.
Dating apps, the idea is good. Their use, no.
They use no.
Pretty much most of the people on dating apps these days are just looking to get their leg over.
Amen. I mean, that's not me.
I mean, if you do manage to find somebody on a dating app and have some sort of an actual relationship,
Gem,
that doesn't actually just involve constant fucking and nothing else. Maybe good for you. I just think it's been corrupt with just really shitty people that probably don't deserve to have a partner. Like where Jem said, he's being shot down all the time because people, they have their standards, but their standards don't. They're not really reasonable to what they're providing. I mean, going back to the whole thing I said about a woman being a product, if they want to be paid for, then if you're literally just taking a woman out to pay for a meal, pay for dancing, all that sort of shit, and then fuck her in the end, you've basically paid for a service.
Well, what end do we fuck her in? Either or.
Either or, yeah. I mean, I have got something for you.
I thought you were going to say something in regards to that. I was like, whoa, where are we going with this?
He's got a package for you, R-Techz.
He's like, I do have some figures for anal and oral.
Oh, no. For a dating app, to stay on the subject.
Right, yeah.
In 2022, eHarmony, not sponsored, survey on the biggest dating trends in 2023 found. Hang on, what the fuck? How could it be done in 2022 for trends in 2023?
It's the trends that they are predicting in 2023 based on what was in 2022, I would assume.
Oh, okay, fair. That over half of people surveyed, 55%, if you care, who have been in a relationship feel the most loved when their partner acknowledges their emotions. This is followed by 38% following the feeling of the most loved shared by sharing a new experiences. That does not make sense to me whatsoever. I'll rephrase it.
Yeah, so
feeling most loved by sharing new experiences, and the 31% getting space to be alone.
Oh yeah.
So giving people space.
Yeah.
Wait, what? How can you give somebody space in a relationship?
Well, if they're an astronaut, they already get it.
Hey. So
what's that guy's name from the Big Bang?
Carry on. Finish off your point.
So yeah, with these, it seems that dating apps, they are the solution to the problem, but at the same time, they're the problem.
I get what you're. Yeah.
Because people who are actually looking for love don't really have time for this shit. Like, yeah, you want to fuck, right? Great. That's not really what I'm interested in. And then obviously have to go, nope, not interested, and then on to the next one, and then waste their time that way.
Yeah.
So you go through, I mean, out of 1,000 people, you meet that one person, but it takes time to get to that one person.
Mm.
I mean, eventually you'll get there, but obviously it'll take time. I mean, there's a lot of the. You have to dig through the rubbish to find the gold, if you know what I mean.
The diamond.
It's like
in the rough.
mining.
I think so. Yeah, I think in my view, the amount of people that you swipe through is absolutely ridiculous. I think dating apps are good in theory. It's a valid way of trying to date in modern society, how we are and how developed we are technology. So I can completely understand it. I use it mainly. I haven't used any of the big ones in a month or two because I was dating that chick, but now I'm not. I just haven't had the time to get my profiles back up. The concept makes sense for the times we live in. Unfortunately, I think companies know exactly what the fuck they're doing, and they pull in, the desperate people who are on there forever. I mean, I genuinely think people will be on Tinder and whatever else for their whole life. Well, scrolling.
Use Tinder again.
Scrolling back and forth. It's constant swiping. Sorry, and I think a lot of girls just find it like they do it for approval. It's like a boost to their self-esteem. I honestly, the amount that girls write bios on there. They say, "Oh, I'm rarely on here. Add me on Snapchat. I'm rarely on here. Add me on Instagram." And all the girls I've had that on, they speak for the first day and then they go ghost on you. And it's hilarious because I never keep following them. Like, who do they think I am? I always unfollow them the moment I realise that the conversation's died down.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It feels like a bit of a ploy and a bit of a just a big piss take of the dating world. Really, dating apps. I think dating apps do more harm than good in the long run. I'm not saying there aren't success stories. Gem, I know obviously from earlier. My friend Dale and his girlfriend G, or Georgie, so I say, those two met on a dating app during COVID. Big up, they're still together. But I'm not saying you'll never find love on there. What I am saying is it can be a very dangerous place. And that's just what it is. And not everyone is forthcoming with what they want. And you could say, well, in real life, people they can always lie, but we all know it's a lot harder to lie to someone's face than it is on a screen. And people can take fake pictures. I don't mean to sound fat phobic. But here we go. But the girls that take the photos, like it's a point of view from the ceiling, and they take it from the side and they wear certain clothes, you can tell those are the bigger girls. I'm not trying to. That's not me trying to make. I'm not trying to make a comedic statement with that. I mean, that's just genuinely how it is. And I
think more cushion for the pushing.
It's certainly that, mate. Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's just a checklist for some girls and guys who are genuinely looking for something stable and meaningful on dating apps. I think it's a hard world unless you're a 10 out of 10 dude, like Jem said. Unless you're a Tom Hardy or a Ryan Gosling or a Brad Pitt, then you haven't got that much hope. Unless you want to pay some moolah, give us your money. We'll give you the plus. Oh no, we have the gold as well. Oh, actually, we have the platinum. So not only do we give you more matches, you can message them before you match. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all a big fuckery. It really is, and they just don't seem sincere. They might have been sincere at the beginning, but now they've noticed. Especially COVID. COVID it feels like it's some like loneliness epidemic. Yeah, sorry guys, I've really got into this episode. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. It's going in on it.
Yeah, it might be my most chatty one yet. So hopefully the people listening are enjoying what I'm saying.
We summarize it then.
I was going to say, yeah, that's pretty much my final thoughts on it. But yes, you're right, my good friend. What? Let's do final thoughts then. I'm going to start with the guy who got married this year. You know who you are. Go ahead.
Going over the whole subject of relationships, for me, it's if you're going to make a relationship work, I don't know why I'm thinking of you should work on compromises, because a relationship shouldn't be built on compromises. It should be based on mutual interest and, you know, how much you want to do for that person. If you don't think something's going to work, then, you know, don't do it, because you're just wasting both each other's times. But if you truly believe this something's going to work, and you know you're generally interested in this person, you want to spend the rest of your life with them, then you should fight for it, regardless of how much, I don't know, some things break, or you know, you should work on repairing it, moving on, and kind of, I'd say, building a future, or building yourselves, or improving yourselves together. I mean, for instance, I wouldn't have known how to fucking change a nappy if it wasn't for my partner. Or, you know, sort out baby food, or, you know, general playing with children, because that's not what I did before. I mean, I mean, when my sister's children were born, I was kind of like, what the hell are these little small things? Like, you can deal with them. I don't want any interest. You know, that sort of thing. It's like, well, when my little nephew came up to me and wanted to play or whatever, I was like, what the hell do I do? But now that I've kind of, you know, I've learned from my partner, so I kind of know what to do, and she's grown me as a person. I don't want to make it too soppy, but you know, you should work on somebody who loves you and wants to grow with you.
They love you for you, but yet they bring out the best in you, and they improve.
Yeah. Just to simplify it that way, yeah. So yeah, that's my final thoughts on that.
It's like I said, like I'll quote myself on the speech, because I was his best man. So, what was it I said? I said something about companionship isn't about how.
Not what they can do for you, but what you can do for them.
It basically was that, wasn't it? I just worded it. Yeah, I worded it differently. Yeah, I can't remember what the bloody was now. It's how they make you, not how you feel about someone else. It's how they make you feel about yourself. I think that was it.
Not treating them like a product.
Yeah, that's the word of the night for you. Gem, mate, final thoughts. Shoot.
Final thoughts. Okay, well, basically, my opinion is on relationships that everyone deserves to be happy. Nobody should be in a relationship where they don't feel happy. There's ups and downs in every relationship. There's always going to be some sort. Well, I don't say always. There will be times of tension between partners in a relationship, but it's whether you feel like you can get past that. It's not going to just be that, you know, that knife in your side for the rest of the relationship, where you feel like that thing is going to always come up, or you know, that something is going to be wrong because of that one thing, or you know, which does mean that you need to communicate in your relationships. You need to be able to say about like how you're feeling. And I mean, there's a band that I like called Alexis on Fire, and they did a song called Boil Frogs, and there's a line. Yeah, I know. There's a line in that song called the line in that song that says, "Sometimes love isn't about how much someone suits you, but how much you're willing to change to suit them." Which is again a similar thing to what you guys have been saying.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's also something that's important to see. That sometimes relationships are sometimes you need to compromise, but I agree with SD that a relationship shouldn't be based on compromise. It should be based on mutual respect and mutual feelings, and that kind of thing. Mutual interest, and even if it's a case of you going, well, my partner is into this thing, so I'm going to at least understand their interest in it, even if it's not something that I want to get involved in. But if I understand they're interested in it and why they're interested in it, I can then have more of an understanding of my partner, and then I would also know.
Is the straight up?
Yeah, but yeah, that's my final thoughts.
Goody. Okay. Well, I must admit I haven't really got anything specifically to say. I think I went on full enough with mine. But I am single, so if there are any females or males out there, because I'm getting to that point now. If you're gender fluid,
if you get to that point, get on Grindr, mate. Get on Grindr.
We are the Straight Up Busters. This is our podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. SD is back, so it's goodbye from SD, from Gem, R-Techz. This is episode 35, season 3. We have one more episode left that will be the last one of the season. I'm not quite sure where it will be hosted or what not, but we will figure that out, and we'll have some damn good fun whilst we do it. Thank you for everybody who's tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Let's get those numbers up. Tell your friends if you're interested in these conversations we have. Farewell.
Yeah, I need a wee, and I could not hold on any further.
I think I presumed you needed a pee. Either that or a wank, and I was hoping it wasn't the latter.
Obviously, it was the latter.